This warming rice dish is the perfect comfort food for the winter weather. I have these preserved sausages from my recent TNT haul, and I'm using glutinous rice from the USA. These are the short grain one, also known as sweet rice. There's a little bit of prep work involved. I soaked 1.5 cups of the rice in cold water after washing it for at least 3 hours. I've also soaked some shiitake mushrooms in water for about an hour, and I also have taro and these dry scallops, which I've also washed and soaked for about an hour. There's also an egg, these green onions, cilantro, red onion. If you have shallots, that would be even better. And for seasoning, I'm using sesame oil, fish sauce, white pepper, and dark and light soy sauce. Okay, so I've discarded the water now, and you can see the rice more clearly. And you can also use the longer grain glutinous rice as well. Either one is fine, but it's very important to pre-soak the rice, otherwise it may not cook thoroughly and you may be left with a crunchy center, which does not taste so good. Now I'm going to cook the rice with the water that I soaked the scallops and mushrooms in because it's flavored broth, but discard all the sediments from the mushroom water. I'm going to put the rice as well as a 1-to-1 ratio of water into the Instant Pot. Then I'm going to cook on high pressure for 6 minutes, then let it release naturally for 4 minutes, and then release the rest of the pressure manually. I'm going to be preparing these roasted peanuts for garnish, and I just have a handful of peanuts in here, and I'm going to roast at 160 degrees Celsius for 5 to 7 minutes. And you can keep an eye on it to make sure that it does not get burnt. Now after soaking, you can see that these mushrooms are nice and soft. So I'm going to start cutting them into small pieces for cooking. You can discard the stems, or like me, you can save them for making broth for another dish. The flavor of the mushroom and the preserved sausages go really well together and is the main feature of the rice dish. Okay, now let's start cooking. We have the pan on medium heat, and there's a little bit of vegetable oil in the pan. I am first going to heat up the shiitake mushrooms. And next I'll be adding the scallops, which have now been rehydrated, and stir fry those together to release the flavors. The next ingredient to add is the taro, and for the taro I actually keep a stash frozen in my freezer, and it comes in really handy for a lot of dishes. So I'm going to add that in and again stir fry together. After that, you can season with a little bit of white pepper. Next, I will add the red onion or the shallots if you have them as well. And by now the rice is all ready, and we can see the steaming rice is nice and soft. I'm going to take out the 2 sausages and cut them into smaller pieces. And I've scooped out the rice into a separate bowl so they don't stick to the Instant Pot. The rice is a bit oily because the oil from the sausage has gone into it during the cooking process, so you have a bit more time to work with getting the rice out of the pot. Okay, now we're going to add the rice as well as the sausages into the pan with the other ingredients. And we're going to stir fry them together and add in the dark soy sauce and the light soy sauce. And by now your kitchen is filled with a wonderful aroma. Because the sausages are already seasoned, I would recommend just adding 1 teaspoon of the dark and light soy sauce each to begin with, and then you can taste it to see if you need to add any more. Same goes with the fish sauce as well. The sesame oil is optional. If the rice is already oily enough for you, then you do not need to put that in. Lastly, we're going to add some green onions. And at the end, we're going to be garnishing with the cilantro as well as the egg, which we've made into some thin egg paper, and the roasted peanuts. And voila, you have a very delicious dish. I hope you like it. Bye.